Snacks.
What it do, snackers, snackettes, and snack X's? It's your boy Gage. I'm here with Jokes and with Sin, and you are now tuned into Loading Snacks Weekly, where we get together once a week and we talk about all kinds of things that are happening in pop culture. And today is Starfield Day. Happy Starfield Day.
Happy Starfield Day.
The masses are getting their hands on Starfield today.
Yes.
It's a wonderful, wonderful feeling. Or so we think. We're going to talk about it. Before we get started, Jokes, you have a job to do.
Going around the long way.
Jokes, to get that Beacons link up for everyone. Put it in the chat. All you have to do is click on that very link there, and then from that link, you can find all of our links. That will take you to all of our wonderful social media homes, as well as our merch store and our Patreon. Please feel free to go there, check us out, follow us. If you can go to our Patreon and give us $1 a month, we greatly appreciate it. All of that helps to keep all of this going, and that is for sure. And speaking of Patreon, Sin,
yes,
you have a job to do.
Yes, I do. So let's shout out our top tier patrons, starting with Anthony Cunningham, Marcus Houston, Susan Dortch, Tyrone Carson, Meticulous Skin, Alex Lee, and Ellis Mbaye. Thank you very, very much. We truly, truly appreciate it.
We do indeed. Thank you all so very much. Now, Starfield. Have you all looked at reviews for Starfield?
Not really. I've
Not
kind
in
of
depth.
stayed away just so I can formulate my own opinion. So
I've seen
I know
scores.
it's like sevens
Yeah.
or something like that.
I've seen a range from the 7s all the way up to at least the 9
Up Alfonso.
that I've seen.
What about Alfonso? I hope your birthday was great, my man.
Oh, happy belated.
CC.
Yeah. What you've seen some of everything, jokes? Is that what you're saying?
Seen a little, yeah. Like we know some sites typically, whether it's like they just don't like certain things, they'll give it bad scores or whatever. But I mean, technically, the 7's not really a bad score, but it's like just average. But I've seen a little bit of a range for it.
Saying you haven't seen anything.
I've like glanced at like a 7, but I didn't like read the article or anything. I want to just get into it and dive into it myself, formulate my own opinion. So that's just
Yeah. It's odd. I think all the scores have been good. I mean, I haven't seen any scores that are bad scores for this game.
Mhm.
I have seen perfect scores. 5 out of 5s, 5 stars, 10s. I've seen 9s. I've seen 7s. The lowest I've seen is a 7.
Okay.
Which, I think is interesting. From what I have read, and obviously we're going to get into what our own experiences have been playing Starfield, though it does release today in full access to everyone. It has been in early access for those who had the premium edition and blah, 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 for about 5 days. So reviews started hitting last week before that happened. And so we've all had a chance to play some. And so we do have our own opinions, and we'll talk about that. But every single complaint that I have seen about this game are complaints that I think are completely valid and ones that I think I agree with 100%. Okay. But everything that everyone loves about this game are things that so far I completely agree with, and I think they are 100% correct. So Bethesda's a little bit of an anomaly, and I guess we'll get into that some too. Bethesda as a particular, like Bethesda game studios, they do not release games very often. When's the last time they released a game, jokes?
Oh God, Fallout
Skyrim
76.
Fallout 76.
Yeah,
which people didn't love. It was janky, which is normal for Bethesda. People were not happy with the multiplayer, but they were also trying something brand new, something they had never done before, in terms of trying to do Fallout first person. Not that as a company at all, they have a Skyrim MMO, but Fallout is a different beast. Since that game released, they have done update after update after update and released new content and patches and whatever. And the people who are playing it still, because they are still playing it, seem to love it. Are like a. But I think that there is something specific about Bethesda titles that people just have an expectation that they're going to be a bit buggy, that there's going to be funny things in them.
Yeah.
There's going to be stuff that's janky. But people, I've seen complaints of people like overlook the jank, right? That's there with Starfield. Would you guys agree with that?
For the most, yeah. I agree with that. Yeah. I haven't run into too much jankiness as of yet. Fingers crossed.
The only thing I've run into that was annoying at one point. I forget the name of the robot droid, whatever you want to call it. But I have gotten to points in time where like this dude will just absolutely either stand in front of me or stand behind me to the point that I can't get out of the way unless I jump over something or have to move ever so slightly, so he will move out of the way, and so I can
Yeah,
get
like
out.
he does that with me, but I haven't taken him out in a while since I was forced to be with him. I've been running around
Right,
solo.
same,
So
same,
yeah.
same. But other than that, yeah, that's one of those just stupid things.
Um, why do you think people give Bethesda a pass for the things that are buggy or janky?
I think when it comes to the three big titles specifically, like Fallout, Elder Scrolls, and now Starfield, I think it's because they know that yeah, it might start off a little buggy in some places and all that kind of stuff when it first starts, but we know they'll listen, pay attention, and they'll fix those things over time. And they're all great games. I think that's why you have a great product. It just needs some polish. It's just a little couple fixes here and there, and they know that all that stuff will be fixed by them, and it'll be good to go. I think they love the product, they trust the product, they trust the people putting it out to fix whatever issues they have with it, and to keep going. That's what I'm thinking.
You agree with that, Jokes?
Yeah, I mean, just pick it. I feel like it's because it's become the expectation. It's like that that something of Bethesda's going to come out and it's probably going to be buggy or glitchy. But then to what Sin says,
Yeah.
they'll listen and then work through said things. And I would imagine that Bethesda, they know some bugs. Like, don't get me wrong, a lot of games launch with certain bugs in it, with the idea of trying to, they'll do betas and things to try to iron out certain things. But until you actually fully launch the title and have more people jump in, some things you may not necessarily will be able to fix or patch until you see if it affects the masses at that point for it. But I think because it's become the expectation, and then we know the patches and the fixes come along and they do deliver on those, I feel like that's where it's at.
Yeah, I mean, I think that a lot of times the systems, like the gameplay systems on top of systems that allow people to kind of weave their own stories and have their own fun, are, I think, a lot of times why people just don't. I don't want to say they don't care, because it's not like this stuff doesn't bother them, but it's like they're usually not game breaking, and they tend to be funny for the most part,
Yeah.
right? And I think that's the difference. And people are having so much fun doing what they're doing. So let's talk about what we're doing. Jokes. What kind of a character did you roll?
Oh damn, I forget the name. So I did what was the option? I picked, there was one at the very bottom where it was like you didn't necessarily have the affiliation, or like you were the unknown type.
You did the
Yeah.
unknown
You did
joint? Like,
unknown.
that's the very last one.
Yeah, I
Unknown?
did the unknown one.
Okay.
Because as I was going through, some of them were cool, but then when it got to the unknown, it was just kind of like, yeah, your Jones really, we don't really know about where you come from or all that. I was like, you know what? And I felt like in choosing that, it would let me maybe develop or like pick certain aspects maybe as I got into the game, because I do know we'll get to it probably. It's as we talk about this, I accidentally did something that took me into like a different part of the game.
Spoiler boy.
And then it started
The
asking me
original
questions.
SB.
Right.
It asked me questions, and then it was kind of like, oh, okay, now we have filled in some of your backstory. So it seems like even though I picked the unknown, because of a mistake that I made, it seems like you then kind of sussed out where you actually originated from.
Okay.
I dig that. Was it like, I tried to pick my background. So for those who haven't ever played a Bethesda game, when you create your character, one of the things they always have you do is choose a background. What up, G? Is choose a background for your character, and that background is how you're choosing like 3 attributes for your character that character starts with.
Mm-hmm.
And so I probably spent the better half of like 30 minutes just going through everything and seeing what I felt like was going to be beneficial versus what I thought was going to be beneficial, things I wanted to start with. Then I see something else and be like, ooh, I would kind of really like to have that. And I had to make that decision of like,
yeah.
I mean, once I get in, I can build I can go and start that. And I'll be honest, like, I'm not super happy with what I chose. but we're not going to get into that just yet. Sin, what did you roll?
I went with Ronin.
Okay.
I went with Ronin.
And what attributes did that give you that made you choose that?
Just wanted to try something different. Like I think it's like silenced weapons or just silenced pistols. I start off with that, and I start off with being good with blades. So like, okay, cool. That's cool. Something different for me. I'm gonna start off with that. So I picked that. I picked Empath, and I also picked my third one, Wanted. That one is kind of interesting. Somebody's put a bounty on my head, so at any time, people can just run up on me and try to collect the bounty. So, which has happened already, but it was kind of cool. I was doing the main story mission, had the little chick, the blonde chick, with me, and we got there. We were talking about the moon
Morgan.
back by Earth. Yes, Morgan. Yeah, we're looking at the moon or whatever, and I was like, man, I'm trying to go walk on the moon. Forget this mission. She was like, I mean, we could do that, but but we got to get back to the mission. I was like, say less, babe, let's go. So flew down there. As I'm landing, I see another ship landing. I'm like, I start walking over there. I see them unload. They start coming towards me, and I'm like, hold up, right?
I know. Hand starts moving.
They rolled up on me. It was like, yeah, somebody put a bounty on your head. Like, what's up? And I'm a Ronin, so I got my own things I can say. So I just pretty much told them, hey, like, y'all do not want this smoke. Y'all might want to just go ahead and leave, right? And they was like, hey, like, we really, you got a point. But we just really here just to try to earn some extra credits. Like, could you break us off with just a little something? I said, man, if y'all don't leave right now, it was like, all right, you got it. But some people are still out there looking for you, just so you know, we're gonna leave you alone. But then I happened to get into a firefight with some raiders or whatever, and then they showed themselves sneaking around trying to get me, murdered all of them, took all their jetpacks, weapons.
You know what's crazy? It makes me wonder whether or not if like somebody came to collect a bounty on you, if you was like, all right, you know what I'm saying? And they were like, we was just trying to get some money. If you like agreed to give them the money or something like that, if they go back and report that they collected the bounty and now you're not being hunted anymore, you know what I'm saying? Like they could go back.
It was an option to give them the money, but because that Ronin one was like, nah, like Steph was like, whatever, I'm a Ronin, stand my ground.
Yeah,
they backed off. So I was like, oh man, all right, next time I'm gonna steal their shit.
Jokes, I heard you had a little something interesting happen to you yesterday while you were playing.
Yeah, so I was doing one of the main missions where you had to like find like these junction boxes, and as I'm walking through to like go to the areas to turn it off, I was standing still, but I accidentally hit the melee button, and it just so happened that I was standing near somebody. So when I hit the melee button, chaos broke out. So everybody starts yelling, hey, this dude's attacking us and doing whatever. And then police, whatever you want to call it, just comes out of nowhere, and it don't switch to a quick cuss. And it don't just switch to a quick cutscene. Hey, listen, we need you to come with us. And it gave you some options. So it was like, go along with them. There was a joint that was like, I ain't going nowhere with you. Let's just start to pop off. So I was just like, oh, this is not what I wanted to do. So I say, okay, fine. I'll just go with you. I'm thinking maybe I can get in, talk my way out of this. Puts me into like I don't want to say a prison just yet, but you're put into a room where clearly it's locked doors. It's got a see-through and they can see you on the opposite side of it, but you can't do nothing. And I'm just like,
right, you're stuck in the seat.
You're stuck in the seat. And I'm just like, oh, hell. And eventually, dude comes and starts to talk to you. And you can tell, like, this is like the supervisor or leader or whatever. And, he's just like, yeah, you've done some things. And, we kind of want to just see how this plays out or whatever. So it seems like dude is like, okay, I guess he's just going to let me go. Like, this was my first offense. So maybe this is just, I'm going to get off with the warning just to not do that again. But it actually turns out that this is like a second storyline that I have accidentally stumbled into, that they want to recruit me to go undercover to help them. I forget the name of the Raiders or whatever group it is, the faction. And they're like, we want you. Yeah, we want to send you in undercover. And, if you go in and do this for us, we could just act like what happened back down the stairs. We could just act like that never happened. And I'm just like, and I'm noticing the choices that come up. That's either, I'll go along with this, throw my ass in jail, I'll do my time. And I'm like, are you serious right now? But in making a decision, I decided I went along with it for a second. But I ended up quitting because I was like, hold up. Like, I messed up. Yeah. I quit out because I don't know if you noticed this or not. The jump auto saves, typically when a game auto saves, it just overwrites the previous auto save. But this one just continuously just saves new times once over another. So I literally went back in and just picked right back up from where they tried to arrest me at. But this was clearly a different storyline because
like before you got arrested.
Exactly. Like literally right before that. Yeah, the rise of Joe.
Okay. So you just basically went back and redid it so you didn't actually punch anybody by accident.
Exactly.
And I got hit with that same thing doing something stupid. And I was, as soon as they say, yeah, take down the Crimson Raiders, I was like, I'm all in, let's go. I don't like neither one of y'all.
To myself. And I was like, but I was like, is this going to take me in a different path here? Or do I still end up coming back? Because Morgan was pissed at me. She was pissed. She was like,
what?
Yeah. After I come out the room.
Why? Because you punched somebody?
It started a melee?
No, because I wanted to go along with dude and go undercover. She was like, I don't condone this at all.
What?
She did not do that with me at all. She didn't say nothing. She wasn't even there.
Me either, bro.
Yeah.
No, she said something to me. Like literally, the dude led me out the room. He's talking, and then the camera swaps, and she's standing here as well too. And she gives me the, I don't condone what you did.
Maybe he was punching the people in the face because you don't talk to her.
She's talking about you punching somebody.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah,
she ain't talking about helping them.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe
you got scared, dog. You got scared. You got
scared because I didn't want to get kicked out the constellation. I'm like, I just started. Like I just got hired. Don't fire me now.
Look, I went back out there, switched the mission back to what me and her was doing. So all right, let me finish up this, then I go handle that real quick.
Man, listen, let me tell you something. I chose a gangster for my background, all right?
Okay.
Because you start with the shotgun perk.
I knew it. Yeah.
So I was like, yeah. Right? And I went through all the joints. Nobody else had a shotgun perk. And I'm a little upset that I did that only because, like, I thought, all right, you're going to start with a shotgun. No. You definitely don't start with a shotgun. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I got this perk that basically feels like a waste because I don't have you can't upgrade the perk until you do the thing within that perk that allows you to upgrade it. So like to upgrade the shotgun perk, you got to kill a certain number of people with a shotgun. Mm-hmm. I don't have a shotgun. So now I have this perk that I can't use. You know what I'm saying? I can't do anything.
You still don't have a shotgun?
Oh, I have a shotgun.
Okay.
Oh, I have several shotguns.
Okay. My bad.
I got some real nice shotguns now, but I'm just saying, like when I started, I had pistols, you know what I mean? And I found laser guns, I found ballistic guns. I found all kinds. I found everything but shotguns. You know what I'm saying? Basically, is how I feel.
Same thing. I didn't start off with a melee weapon,
but it's. I started doing a bunch of side quests. I got sidetracked. I'm off I'm off me and my little robot buddy. Off running around doing things. I was like, you know what? Let me go back and do the main story. So I go back because it tells you like when you're talking to her doing the main story that like once you get her, she's gonna be locked to you. You can't get rid of her. You can't, you know what I mean? Whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm like, maybe I should go do some of this other stuff that I picked up first. Try to get some money. Try to get some XP or whatever before I start doing the main story. But I did a couple of missions and then I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go back. I'm gonna get with her. I go get with her. We get on the ship, start following the main path. You know what I'm saying? And as I'm following the main path, same thing is happening. Like I just happened to, I walked past somebody and it was like an officer that was on Mars that mentioned something and then said something else. I try to talk, it's weird because they have like people who are just listed as citizens. They have people that are like listed as like specifically what their job do. Like some people will be listed as citizens. Some people will be listed as like a miner, like security, they mine in the town. That, yeah. Some people are listed as like security or like whatever their rank is in security. And then there's people who have names. And anybody that has the names, I'm coming to talk to you, Slim.
Yeah.
I want to know what you're talking about. If you got a name, you probably got missions or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
I just happened to talk to this one like UC officer that didn't have a name, right? And so the first thing she said to me was like, you know, we keep things pretty peaceful here. We don't usually have any trouble. It's basically just a miner's town, whatever. And it was kind of like a throwaway thing. It didn't give me dialogue option or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
I hit the button again to talk to her for some reason. I don't know why I did. And when I did, she was like, hopefully there's no more trouble with the such and such where they keep having the brownouts, blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden, the thing popped up on the side. It was like, go investigate what's going on with the brownouts. And I was like, oh, are you kidding me? I can talk to anybody and end up with a mission.
That's the jump that I ended up.
Okay.
Yeah, that was where. Yeah,
I'm finishing up that one now. I ran out of the
so I'm gonna tell you what.
So I had to go get some.
I didn't do that. I didn't even start that mission. I was like, I'm not dealing with this right now. I kept it moving, stayed on what I felt like was the main quest. And then I talked to this dude. I went down. There was a dude in the bar you had to go talk to. And I went and talked to him, and I ain't like the way he was talking because he was trying to press me for some money or whatever. Like, the dude I'm looking for might be dead. He might be here, whatever. But I'm a gangster, bro. So some of my options were very gangster-like.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And we had a little back and forth. But then it gave me an option to let her talk to him. Did y'all get that?
I did get an option to let her talk. Yeah.
Did you let her talk?
I did.
I'm pretty sure I did.
All right.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did at the bar.
And I like the way she was coming at my man kind of hard. Like, oh, please, Slim, you ain't got to. Like, she was kinda, and I was like, oh, all right, you know what?
Yeah,
I like you.
Yeah.
I'm trying, because I remember
Sarah,
it was like she was getting ready to say like, "Oh, you's a liar" or something like that. Into
Yeah. Uh-oh. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, she basically called him a liar.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, I ended up on this other joint where I met this guy who's like, yeah, we're trying to get more, like, we're trying to make more money, but in order to make more money, we need better equipment. In order to get better equipment, we need more money. So there's, like, you know, you see what kind of trouble we're in. And I'm like, I mean, all right. And then he's like, but you could probably help me, you know, whatever. So basically he tells me, he's like, the person who's in charge won't sign the paperwork or whatever for them to get new equipment.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what they got to do with me? So then he's like, well, the problem is his assistant quit or got fired or is lost or something, and he don't have an assistant. And this dude can't do anything without his assistant. So he's like, what would be dope was if you went to go be his assistant. And I'm like, what? Let me see where this goes. So I'm like, all right, let me go see if I can be Slim's assistant. Dog, let me tell you something. The very next step in the mission quest, I had to go back out, get on my ship, fly to a space station. I go to the space station, go inside the space station, go to a kiosk, and fill out the application for the job.
I didn't do none of this.
I fill out the application. It's like, do you want to apply? I'm like, yeah. I apply for the joint. The joint goes through a series of questions. Like, the first question is like, your boss asks you to go make him a whiskey neat. What do you do? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, the first answer is like, it's a trick question. He's not allowed to drink on the job. It's like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like 4 or 5 questions I go through and answer. And when I'm done, that's it. The joint's like, okay, your application submission. Then I have to go back, get in my ship, and fly back to Mars to go back to just be like, yeah, I applied. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I get there, I talk to Slim. I'm like, yeah, I applied for the job. He's like, okay. Here's what you're going to have to do. Now, you got to sneak into the office, hack into the computer, and you got to delete everybody else who applied. You got to delete everybody else's applications so you can get the job. So he's like, luckily, I know Shorty's password because her password is password backwards. She think that's dope, but it's really stupid. And she always gets drunk at the bar, and they always go to the bar at the same time. So this is what time you can go to her office and do it. So I go to the office.
Okay.
Go on her computer, delete. I'm reading everybody else's joints. These people got master's degrees. They, you know what I'm saying? Delete. I'm deleting everybody else's joints. Go back, talk to him. I'm like, yeah, I deleted everybody else's joints. He's like, cool. He was like, I see it. They just announced it. You got the job. Now you just got to go up and talk to him and get him to give you access to his computer. So when you get access to his computer, you can just say, yes, you're going to let us buy the equipment we need. So I'm like, all right, bet. I go up there to talk to Slim. I'm like, hey, can I access your computer? And he's like, nah. First, I need you to do something. You got to run some errands for me. I need you to go pick up a package of mine that hasn't shown up yet. All right. I go to the mayor's office to get the package. Walk in the office, talk to the mayor. The mayor's like, yeah, I know where his package is, but Slim he ain't paid up on his taxes, and we not releasing his package until he pay up on his taxes. However,
you
look like somebody. Like, dude, listen, he's like, listen. So Sarah jumps in and is like, oh, it seemed like you already know who we are. And he's like, yeah, I know all about what you're doing. I know how you trying to help Slim. You know what I'm saying? Get the resources. I know that, like, he all in my business. So he's like, you might be able to help me if I help you, whatever. All right, what do I got to do? He's like, you take care of this for me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, nah, Slim, you gonna have to pay me some extra. It's not gonna be, I'm not just gonna go do it. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. I press him out. He tells me he needs me to go find his ship. His ship is missing, but don't get the ship. Find the ship and destroy it. Just go to the ship, blow the ship up, come back. And he'll give me the package. All right. I go out to the joint, find the ship. He say the Crimson Raiders stole his ship. I get there and somebody hails me while I'm on my ship. And dude's like, we've been stuck out here floating. We don't have no help. Can you help us? Whatever. So the joint gives me an option to lie and be like, oh man, I know you a Crimson Raider. I'm a Crimson Raider. So you should just let me on the ship. So I'm like, all right. So I lie to Slim. Like, you should let me on the ship. He's like, oh, all right, come on the ship. Dog, I dock with the ship, go on the ship, and as soon as I get in there, Slim pulls the hammy on me, and it's like, I know you ain't no Crimson Raider. Before you try something like that, you need to learn how we speak and learn the lingo, blah, blah, blah. So I get in and start persuading them, like, listen, you don't really want to do this. You know what I mean? I know you're just trying to get a payday. I know so-and-so paid you to do. Talking him out of it, right? He doesn't. I'm like, just give me what I'm looking for. You give me what I need, and I just let you go, and everything's cool. I persuade him to do it. He's like, all right, bet. I'll give you what you need. So he gives me a note that the mayor gave to him. So now I have evidence against the mayor for whatever it is the mayor was trying to destroy, right? So then I'm like, then the joint's like, you can leave, or you could
blow that
kill everybody on this joint, take the ship.
Let me guess.
So I'm like, well, I don't know if I'm gonna go that far, but let me go see what's up. Man, it's a giant ship. I'm all over the place. I'm walking in and out of joints. I'm picking stuff up. So I finally find. Now, the only person who knows on the ship that I'm not an actual Crimson Raider is the leader of the Crimson Raiders. Everybody else on the joint is talking to me like, oh, what's up? Good to see another fellow Crimson Raider or whatever. Like, they just walking past these bammers having no problem. I see a body on the floor. So I'm like, oh, snap. I go over, click on the joint, find a note from her. Like, dang, what's this? You know, whatever. I do a little more investigating, pick a couple things up, clear out their weapon caches, clear out the little, you know what I'm saying? And then I'm like, you know what? Let me quick save this joint real quick and see what happens if I start a little something right here. Bruh, I'm pickpocketing, because that's also one of my joints is pickpocketing. I'm pickpocketing people, getting their money. Listen, these fools ain't got no weapons. I'm running up on them, sneaking up behind them, taking their weapons, taking their money.
That's hilarious.
I start the fight. They all started coming. I killed everybody on the ship. Everybody on, right? I have the evidence, kill everybody on the ship, but I can't take the ship because the ship doesn't have any fuel. So I'm like, all right, I'm just going to go back to my ship. I get on my ship. I still have the option to destroy the ship. So I blow the ship up, right? Go back and talk to Slim, like, check this out. He like, did you blow up the ship? I'm like, yeah, I blew up the ship. However, I got a little something. I know what you. So basically, Slim was having an affair with the girl that was dead on the joint. Paid the Crimson Raiders to hijack the joint and blow the joint up with her on it. Right? She had the note I picked up from her was a note that said, I've been stuck out here for days, drifting, whatever. If you find me, blah, blah, blah. But she couldn't take it. They didn't kill her. She killed herself.
Wow.
she left a suicide note, had killed herself. So for real, all of what the mayor did was for no reason at all.
Yep.
Right? But I was like, hey, Slim, you gonna have to pay me, dog. You got to pay me.
Big
you know what I'm saying? I blew the ship up, but I got this evidence. If it ever get out, it's gonna be a problem. So he's like, you don't really want to do this, but whatever. Here's some extra money, blah, blah, blah. I get the extra money. And I'm like, I guess I should get back to the main story. But I didn't. I go back to the dude and tell him I got his package. Give him the package. He lets me have access to his computer. When I get access to his computer, I finally say, okay, we can pay for the equipment you need. I go back to Slim. He's like, cool. Thank you for doing that. I get my money. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. And he's like, by the way, so-and-so, before I can catch you, went to go looking for blah, blah, blah. Maybe you can go find them. I'm like, I'm not doing that unless you pay me. He's like, oh, yeah, nah. I know it's worth your time. I'm going to pay you. It's going to be sweet. So now I just got this whole new mission from the same dude that is to go find somebody who went looking for something else because he couldn't catch him before he leaves. And when I'm on my way to do that, I tried to pickpocket somebody and I got caught.
Oh.
And the police came and arrested me. And they sat me down in the chair. And they was like, check this out. You got a real seedy past. I know what you did with this. I know what you did with this. You did blah, blah. I'm like, they all in my business, bro.
Facts.
I'm like, it's like Psycho Mantis reading your memory card again.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right. So they like, you can either take on a joint, go undercover against the Crimson Raiders for us, or you can sit in jail, whatever. But they gave me an option to fight.
They did give me an option to fight as well.
So I did.
Bodied him.
I'm glad you did because I wanted to punch that bald dude in his face so bad, bro. I'm like, you let me get this close, bro.
Shit was like level 40, level 16.
That was what I was gonna say. That's what I was gonna ask y'all. If y'all got to a point where, like, I was in a mission, it told me to go someplace, and I'm completely out leveled. And I'm like, what the hell? This is like the main zone. I'm like level 4.
I was doing that the junction box quest and got turned around and I found this door. It was like that I need to unlock. It wasn't hard, it was like moderate or whatever, but it was like my second time doing it. So I tried, messed up one time, and I had one of them lockpicks left. I was like, all right, let me try. I unlocked it, I was boosted. Dog, I unlocked this door and a giant dog robot came out and started whooping my ass. It was like level 15. I was level like 2. Killed me. I came back to life, put me right back there with the dog. So it's me and the dog, and I got a knife, but I'm sweet. Because it's my strongest weapon. That's what I do. I'm just shaking each other the hallway. He's whooping my ass. I keep healing myself. Winning that joke. I killed him. Went in that dude's room. I don't know whose room it was for, but I took whatever I thought was important out of there and left. So if I run into it, hey, I got something for that question.
I just thought I did something insanely wrong when I ran up these dudes. I was like, I started shooting. I was like, what the hell is going on? And the next thing I looked up, I was like, why are you level 30? And I'm like, why are you level 30 right now?
They the feds.
But you know what's crazy is that, like, so what I'm realizing is that, you know, it's just people walking around who they have experience. They like, if you meet somebody who's like a bounty hunter and that's what they've been doing and blah, 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 they're going to be like level 30, level 40. Where if it's just like a miner or somebody like that, they're going to be around your level. You know what I mean? Like, it's actually kind of realistic. You know what I'm saying? In that way. Here's what I can say, bro. I'm so frozen in whether or not the best thing for me to do is keep on this path I'm on. I started the Crimson Raiders joint, or do I go back and just keep doing the main story mission?
Right.
And I'm so lost. What's up, Zay? I'm so lost. This is what I'll tell you though. So at Gamescom last week, and we talked about this, P. Hines was like, the story don't even really start until you finish the game and do New Game Plus.
Yeah.
Now, I have no idea what that actually means. Here's what I'll tell you. I watched the joint today where I saw several people like, oh my God, when you get to New Game Plus, it gets real. Like, they're like, this is the best New Game Plus they've ever seen. It hasn't ever been like that before when you do a New Game Plus. It's not apparently just like starting the game over. So much so that like Greg Miller from Kind of Funny over the weekend,
Mhm.
finished the joint another 4 times. He's on his 5th new game plus.
Wait,
He's like, I
what?
just can't stop playing. And he gave the joint like a 3 out of 5 initially.
Oh,
And was like, I'm having 5 out of 5 fun. I'm running into like 3 out of 5 jank, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. But he's like, I cannot put it down. And if there wasn't other games that I like have to play for review, I wouldn't be able to do anything else. Right. And so he's like, every time I started over, it's like, and I'm like,
the fact that
so
you
should
keep
I
saying
just
every
be
time that I
'cause
start?
I feel like one of the things about Bethesda games, I'll be honest, Oblivion, Skyrim, Fallouts, I never finish them. Never finish
Same
them
here,
joints.
yeah.
I get so caught up joining the
And
such and
everything
such
else,
guild,
yeah.
and now I'm in the Thieves guild, now I'm in the Fighters guild, and now I'm in the Mages guild, and I work my way all the way. I spend hours upon hours upon hours. People are playing like 80 hours, not finishing the game. People are playing like 35 hours, finishing the game, starting the game over, playing again.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and then like there are people who are like, I didn't really run into any really great stories like some people have, and some of the best stories are just these side quests that like maybe you're gonna find, maybe you don't.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, right now, I'm enthralled. Like I am enjoying this joint thoroughly. I don't know that I could put a score on it yet, right? Because I don't feel like I've played enough of it to be able to say like this game is a this out of this.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But I have that sickness that you get sometimes where like, you know how you start playing a game and then what up, Wiz? Still try to be Oblivion. Listen, don't bother now. You just play Starfield. You know what I'm saying? It's Game Pass. Now I'm like, I can just go. I can beeline. Like I can just go through. But I'm like, I did start the Crimson Raiders. I want to see where it goes.
Right.
So I feel like I'm gonna try to do that.
I'm with you.
But then just beeline like the main story because I'm so interested in what this new game plus is, right? And like the way people are talking about it. I know that there are side quests. I've seen people talking about side quests, and I just like I want to do like people like I found a bat cave. I'm trying to get down, and I'm like, well,
all of it.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's just like this insane freedom.
It's so hard to
like all of their games.
Yeah, it's so hard to stay on the main path. Like you just run into these interesting, cool things with these stories in this massive world, and next you know, you're wrapped up into something. Like we've all talked about today, you get wrapped up in stuff. Like amazing. So cool how they put it all together.
Like I don't even know. This is one of those things where I don't know if I would tell somebody who hasn't played Bethesda games before, like, yes, you need to go play this. Like, you need this game in your life, right? But I do, oddly enough, with that same statement, I do feel like this is a game worth buying an Xbox for if you don't have one. Like, you buy a Series S or an X for this game and Game Pass, and you play this game. And you get so many other benefits by having Game Pass that, like, I feel like it's unless you just can play, unless you have a PC that you can do it on. You know what I mean? Like, I do feel like this is worth that. Like, I honestly believe that this is the new Skyrim. Like, this is a game that I feel like is going to last another 10, 11 years. That they'll re-release again, and they'll be
adding some other stuff.
They add the mod community to it, like
I think mods are already they're already on it. Like I didn't see.
I'm talking about like when you can like when you do an Xbox,
getting
like
it for
Skyrim, exactly, like with Skyrim and Fallout and all that stuff, That'd be cool.
Jokes, do you recommend this game?
As of right now, I'm at the point where I'm thinking it's just okay, and I feel like I haven't deep dive into a lot of those Simon, but you know how I am. Once I start deep diving and going on each one of these, like listen. Once I ran into the level 30 Bamas, it was already like, all right, I gotta level. I'm coming back to smoke you. Like
I will be back.
I will be back. So I'm gonna smoke you.
Yeah.
So, but as of now, like I'm in an okay place that I would say if you don't have Game Pass, get Game Pass, play it that way. Just like you said, PC.
Let me ask you a question. Do you normally play Bethesda RPGs? Did you play Oblivion or Skyrim?
Kind of like to you, nowhere near to completion.
Fallout.
I feel like I've gotten it never.
You dabbled.
I've dabbled, and I've never.
I mean, I know you do RPGs.
Yeah,
but are these kind of like not your thing?
Maybe so. Like with the way this is, with the leveling and the way that you can like evolve your traits and things, I think I like it a little bit. Like I like it a little bit more. So you got to do certain things to level up. You can really tailor things the way that you want to go. I think this one's probably a little bit more my speed. But as I heard people, the further you get into it, it does become more involved. Like right now, I feel like because I'm still in those beginning phases or beginning stages that I haven't done as much yet, I think I'm kind of just okay. This show's okay. I think once I get a little bit further into it, I'll feel a little bit different about it.
I feel like this game just throws stuff at you. Like it doesn't. My biggest problem with this game is that they're really like the tutorials are so minimal. I hate the menu system. I hate going into this the star map. Like you gotta press the start button to get to your menu, and then press it again to get to your like.
Look, Jokes can vouch for me.
Terrible.
I'm 100% with you because when we were watching wrestling over the weekend, Lightning jumped in because he was playing it, and I was just messing with it, playing it while we were watching wrestling together, and I was so frustrated because I could not figure out how to take a side mission and tag it so I can just follow that. I could not figure out how to do it to save my life, and it was pissing me off to the point I was about to say, forget this game and just get the hell off. Like it's making me crazy. And he was like, he walked me through how to do it. I was like, oh God, that's such a relief or whatever. And then the same thing, he was like, man, how the hell do you use your scan? I was like, no, just tap LB. He just, thank God, oh my gosh, like it's just so many like of just the tutorials and all that kind of stuff of how to do things. It's the most frustrating part right now, but I'm getting. The more I stick with it, the more I'm getting comfortable. You know what I'm saying?
I can tell you that that's going to get revamped. Like the way that, like, for you putting stuff on and doing on, like, I feel like there needs to be a change in that because that's a little. What's the word that I want to look for in it?
It's janky.
Yeah, janky.
It's convoluted. It's convoluted. Yeah. Like the steps you have to take to like equip your weapons to put up. Like it took me a second to figure out like how to make
put them just in the favorite. Hold
up. We have a weapon wheel.
You know
exactly.
Your
yes, you do. So it's tagged to your D-pad. So what happens is, if you go into your menu for like your items, like your guns and stuff that you have, there's an option at the bottom that says favorite. When you hit the button to favorite it, it brings up the dial like left, right, up or down, and you can move it and leave that weapon in that slot. So that, like, if you want to switch to a different weapon, all you have to do is tap right on the D-pad to go to it, or like, because your health is automatically set to the down button on your D-pad.
Right.
But you can set all the rest of them how you want. And it took me a minute to figure that out.
It took me a minute, and it was pissing me off because I ran out of ammo and needed to switch guns, and I had to keep going into the damn thing the long way.
That happened to me too.
And I was thinking to myself, I was like, if this was like a Destiny type environment, and you're telling me where this zone is not pausable, and I'm having to go in here and put my goddamn gun in this way, I'm gonna get killed.
So let's just say I am fixing that the second we close this down. I got to get
100%. I will say this. I part of what drove me to start really pushing through the main storyline is because I ended up doing a quest before I went and got her. Remember I told you I grabbed the robot dude or whatever and was running to do other stuff. One of the missions I got, I had to go to this space station. I get to the space station. I'm in space. I'm floating through space. I can see the space station. I see the little blue dot where I'm supposed to go. I fly towards it. I'm flying. I can't figure out what I'm supposed to do. I hear all this chatter in the background.
That's frustrating.
I couldn't figure out how to do it, right? And so I'm steaming because I'm running into the joint.
I was getting hot,
destroying my shit.
Me too.
I crashed into it.
Yeah, I did too. I had to go look. I didn't just go to the web. Like, no, how do you dock, dog? Just tell me how to.
So finally, by accident, I ended up docking with the ship. I don't even know how I did it. I just ended up docking with the joint, taking care of what I had to, and then I left. Right. But then when you do the main storyline, one of the first things she has you do is go to a place, and when you do it, there's a tutorial that pops up on the screen that tells you click the A button so you can select the target, and then when you get close enough, hit the X button and you can dock. And I'm like, okay, maybe I need to go through the first set of regular, like I'm just out here.
Yeah.
I'm out here fighting the Crimson Raiders and doing whatever, and I'm not even doing the most basic stuff. But it's weird that it gives you access to all of that stuff without you starting the main story stuff that does the tutorials. So I feel like maybe the tutorials are buried in the main storyline, and you got to go through like the first run of those to get the gist of what it is before you really start running off and doing other things.
Yeah, I was happy they gave me a
so
room.
I'm like, maybe I just need to do that so I don't run into something else that I don't know. Like when I was talking to y'all the other night, and I was like, y'all didn't go to the weapon bench and to the other bench and whatever. And I'm like,
I did today just to take a look at it. Yeah,
I gotta go down and look at that because the first
time
I
did
found
the space station, I didn't even do it in the room you was talking about.
They in the space station too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, first time I found the weapons bench, I was in the middle of a firefight. So they made it seem like I could access it on it was like, no, you can't access it while you're in the middle of a fight.
I mean, which makes sense, jokes. Like, let's not.
Listen, some games will let you interact with it and lock things down so you can go in and do whatever you need to do. This ain't one of them.
I'm not saying they don't. I'm just saying it makes sense that they won't when you're in the middle of a firefight. Cindy, you recommend the game?
I do. I'm
okay.
Even though with the early jankiness and me getting frustrated with the controls and how things are set up and all that kind of stuff, I'm having enough fun meeting these new characters and getting hold of these new storylines to go through and just have a ball with. Yeah, I definitely recommend it. Even with the little exploring I did on the moon, that was pretty fun when they ran up on me. Like, it was like okay, I didn't even get to fully explore like I wanted.
I should have went to the moon, but I didn't.
I just took a looked around, tried to go check out a mining station. Got close enough. They started shooting at us like, oh, okay, all right, that's just how we're gonna get popping. Put out the little MP9 joint and start shooting them up.
I'm gonna keep it a buck. I want to go to Earth so bad. I want to go to Earth so bad.
To see,
you know what I'm saying? So like, I'm just like, all right.
Actually looks like.
Yeah.
I did watch a thing today. Alana Pierce, who used to work at IGN and she did stuff with Kind of Funny, whatever. She did a joint where she spent 7 hours trying to fly to Pluto. And when she got there, she flew right through the joint. You can't like land on a joint from space. Like you have to like jump to it and say you want to it's not like that.
I learned that real quick because one of the missions, it was like, go to this planet and it will give you the option to fast travel. I was like, oh, sweet. There's a fast travel option. Cool. But then I'm like,
difficult to do too.
Yeah. But then I was like, yeah, let me go ahead and fly to said space. So I start and like 5 minutes in, I say to myself, I'm like, this is not getting me anywhere. And so I go look at the menu and go to the map and I'm like, that is a long way.
Super far. Yeah.
From where I'm currently at right now. So
yeah,
I like the aspect of, probably, your travel, you probably will run into stuff as you're trying to get to said planet. But if you tell me like this joint's like real time almost, like, yeah, it's going to take you 2 hours to get to said location. I'm like, oh no.
Something like that.
Yeah, I'm used to that from No Man's Sky. So at least here I can fast travel everywhere and I'm not wasting the resources. So
exactly.
Yeah.
I will say that the game hit like 284,000 current users on Steam, and that's all pre-release. That's before the actual release today. That's before everybody else with Game Pass gets into it. So I'm pretty sure tomorrow we're gonna have some, with
server
dropping
issues.
today.
I'm waiting for the server issue.
Numbers. Oh, definitely. I saw them. They made a post. They posted on Twitter like, look, just we know everybody's trying to get in. Just take your time, which I think is technically why, because it really should be midnight tonight, because technically it's the 6th is the release date, but they started letting people in at 5, which is the same thing they did last week when they did early access. They made it accessible at like 5 p.m.
Yeah, to not clog everything
up. Okay. So, and because they know most people are probably not even going to try until tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what the numbers look like as we come over the weekend.
Okay.
I'm happy with this, but we got to move on. We spent like an hour talking about that.
The whole
it's how the game is.
Yeah.
But we do have to discuss this PlayStation Plus price hike. Jokes, man. Look how you shaking your head, bro. You seem pretty upset.
It's disgusting. Maybe upset.
Just like the internet. Let's just make it simple. Starting tomorrow, PlayStation Plus pricing is going up. People are pretty upset. I think not just about the fact that it's going up, but I think mostly about the way that Sony announced it. So let me share my screen real quick and show y'all how they did the announcement, because I think this is the thing that got most people upset, was that like it's kind of like, you must know you're doing something. Well, clearly anytime you raise prices, like, people aren't gonna be happy about it. But essentially, let me share this. If you look right here, the regular PlayStation blog right here, where they drop, here's what your September games are. Literally, it just says PlayStation Plus monthly games for September: Saints Row, Black Desert, Travel Edition, Generation Zero. Doesn't say anything about price hikes or any of that. They just made it seem like the normal post. And then when you go to the post, which, PlayStation Plus monthly games for September: Saints Row, Black Desert, Travel Edition, Generation Zero. It doesn't look like anything crazy. And then as you scroll through, they show it, and then they throw this in here: new pricing changes, PlayStation Plus 12-month plans. So they added that in, like, after the fact with it. And then they go into the regular thing. Here's what the new games are for PlayStation. You can access them on September 5th until October 2nd. They show, whatever. It seems pretty normal. Give you some information about each of the games. And then as you get down here, then it just says, here's your last chance to download August games. And then they got this little line here, and then it just says, we also wanted to let you know that starting September 6th, we're increasing the price for PlayStation Plus 12-month subscriptions globally across all benefit plans. Now, here's the other thing that people were mad about: the reasoning. This price adjustment will enable us to continue bringing high-quality games and value-added benefits to your PlayStation Plus subscription service. That's it. That's all they say. They don't say it's due to inflation. They don't say they're just like, this is going to let us keep bringing you high-quality games. And then people are like, what do you mean high-quality games? Because Saints Row is the joint that you're bringing us this week. Like, people are not... people are like not happy. That's really not. It's really not. I mean, look, we played Saints Row and had a good time, but we got to be honest. Volition also is shutting down. So it's interesting. What I do want to do is go over what those changes are. So your OG pricing, PlayStation Plus Essential, $59.99 a year. That's the old. The new pricing, $79.99 a year. PlayStation Plus Extra goes from $100 a year to $135 a year, and then PlayStation Plus Premium from $120 a year to $160 a year. These are significant price jumps. They are. Microsoft tried this. If you remember, like 6 or 7 months ago, they tried this, and the backlash was so heavy, they were like, nah, we're not going to do that. They just really tried to do it with like gold. They did do it again, sort of, when they announced the new, but we're talking like a couple of bucks difference. Monthly, which is like not a thing I think we're not used to. Like Netflix does it all the time. They're like, oh, it's gonna be another $2, or is an extra $1, or whatever it is. This is like a 35% price hike.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Yeah.
I don't.
And the online stuff still ain't that great.
That's what I'm saying. It's not worth it.
It's still not that great. Like if you were bringing some groundbreaking features, or if you were saying you're going to get all like these titles day one outside of like Sony exclusive games, that you could justify it a little bit more. But as of now, we're just raising the price on the same thing. Maybe mediocre. I don't want to say maybe mediocre is not the word, but
yes, it is. Yes, it is.
I mean, Xbox Game Pass Core, which is technically just Xbox Live Gold, right? It's still $10 a month, right? And so, no, you don't get the access with Game Pass. You don't, whatever. But that is, it's still a lot. I mean, that's $120 a year.
That's it.
PlayStation going for the high end margin.
They're
definitely going for the high end margin.
Go do Instacart. Go get you.
I mean, look, I think there are people who are just like, look, there are people who only have a PlayStation, right? And they want to play online. They know that they play Call of Duty. They know that, and they're like, there are games you can play on PlayStation that don't require you to be in PlayStation Plus, right? Like Fortnite, or whatever.
Mhm.
But there are people who are going to want to play, like Madden just came out. NBA 2K is just dropping. Like, people are going to want to play those games online, right? You have Mortal
Mhm.
Kombat coming out. People are going to want to play against
Yep.
each other online. These are the same people that own Evo. They know that it's a big deal that people are able to play against each other online, and they kind of have you. It's very anti-consumer. That's how it feels, right?
Mm.
So I think that is probably the biggest issue with this, right? Is that the market share that Sony has, when you've got so much market share, you should be able to relieve people of some of that because you're just making all this money kind of hand over fist. And when you just are like, nah, we just like $20 feels like a lot. You know what I mean? It's not, right? Like, if you split $20 over a year, over monthly, it's not that expensive. It's not that much of a hike, right? The difference is that they're giving you the option to pay yearly. It is still more expensive. Like $80 a year for PlayStation Plus Essential is better than paying $10 a month for it, which is basically what you pay if you're paying monthly.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So you're still saving a lot of money by doing it that way. I just think that people, an extra $20 for a lot of people when games are $70 and so forth, they're upset about it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. They know their accessibility is limited, get margin from our core audience. Absolutely. I mean, the as the PlayStation 5 sales increase, they're doing this right before as people are getting their PlayStation 5 Spider-Man 2 consoles in the
Mm-hmm.
mail. Like, I saw all kinds of people posting over the weekend, towards the end of last week, yesterday, they got their Spider-Man 2 console. For a lot of people, this is their first PlayStation 5. They bought the Spider-Man one because they couldn't get another one or they were waiting for it. So they want this, they want the game. No, they don't need to be able to play online to play Spider-Man 2. However, you have this influx of people that are just now getting their consoles, and you're like, we're going to raise the price of this right before our big game of the year, which is really our only first-party game that's worth anything this year, which is Spider-Man,
Mm-hmm.
right? And they know they're going to have crazy sales. They know people are going to buy consoles for it, and they know people are going to want to get PlayStation Plus. And so they do that. It means that they'll see an increase in revenue. As a matter of fact, while people are complaining and angry and Twitter is going nuts and whatever, Sony's stock price went up when they made the announcement.
Mm-hmm.
So anybody who thought that by complaining about Sony raising their price, that Sony was going to back down, it's not going to happen because their shareholders are happy because the
Mm-hmm.
stock went up, right? So you're not going to see this change. And the fact of the matter is they just don't care, right? They're not in it to do things that are good for gamers, or they're in it to do things that are good for business. And
Mm-hmm.
that's not necessarily wrong, right?
Right.
It's business. But they do have Baldur's Gate to lean on this week coming to the
Mm-hmm.
PlayStation. It's not on Xbox, but Starfield you have coming out this week, and there are a lot of
Yep.
people who are going to be buying Xboxes because of Starfield.
Mhm.
I'm sure there's a Venn diagram where there's an overlap between people who love Spider-Man and people who would love to play Starfield, because I'm
Mm-hmm.
one of them, right? But I'm not giving them $80. It just don't feel right. It's really not even that bad. Again, when
I
you
don't
break it
play.
down
I
over,
don't.
I don't play enough for it to matter.
Yeah.
And the games that they give you in their higher tiers aren't worth it, in my opinion. I do want to go to. So Forbes put up an article on it, right?
Mhm.
And I'm not going to show the article, but I'm going to read it. The title of Forbes' article on this is "Time to Cancel PlayStation Plus as Sony Quietly Raises Prices Through the Roof." That's the name of the article, which is a little harsh, but it might be
I
right.
get it.
Yeah.
Now,
That is
what
one
I
hell of
will
a
say
price
is,
hike.
in here they say, to be fair, these are still cheaper than the Xbox, than the $16.99 a month you'd pay for Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, though that comes with access to both Xbox and PC Game Pass, and that equates to $203.88 a year, but also includes all first-party Microsoft exclusives, including Starfield, which launches today. Um, So normal Game Pass is $10.99 a year and only covers Xbox. So you can also get a PC Game Pass if you're on PC and not Xbox, which runs about the same as PlayStation Plus Extra's new pricing tier. But again, you get games like Starfield for free with that subscription, whereas AAA Sony games won't come to PlayStation Plus for a long time, months to years, or never, depending. Sony has more exclusive, but PlayStation Plus simply doesn't give you access to those in the same way as Game Pass. This person in particular says, for my part, I have to question whether continuing to subscribe to PlayStation Plus actually makes sense. I do most of my online gaming on PC. When I play online games with my kids and my friends, it's all on PC or Xbox. Most of the games I love to play on PlayStation are single player, like Marvel Spider-Man, which won't come to PlayStation Plus at release anyways. Is it worth spending this much on a service I rarely use? These price hikes certainly make me question the point in renewing my subscription, especially in a subscription-based economy that starts to really add up. Again, your Netflix, your Amazon Prime, your Hulu, your Disney Plus, and so forth. So it's this a little crazy. So they did an update to this article that says, so a number of people have told me they're definitely canceling, given that Sony has not indicated any increase in value to go along with the price hike. A number of others have pushed back on this, making a couple of different arguments. Prices go up. That's life. You have to deal with it. And it's actually not that much, just a few dollars a month, which is what I just said. So with regards to the first argument, absolutely, prices go up. We have to deal with it. The problem is that prices have been going up for a lot of different things. Many streaming services have upped their monthly rates. But even outside of entertainment, the cost of living is going up. Groceries, gas, housing, blah, blah, blah. It would be fantastic if we could make more money to cover all these bills, but that often takes time. Prices go up, wages go up, prices go up, wages go up. Sometimes you have to pick and choose. That's pretty much my argument for the second bullet point. Sure, it's only a few bucks a month, but a few bucks here and a few bucks there adds up. $350 a month more for PlayStation Plus might not be a big deal, but HBO is more expensive now. Amazon Prime is more expensive now. Netflix is more expensive now, and cracking down on password sharing. So we have to pick and choose, and the determining factor for me in any case is what adds the most value. So I'll drop streaming services that don't have shows or movies I want to watch. Again, I think that there are certainly people who, again, if you're a PlayStation, like if that's your solo way of playing, then there might be enough value in it for you to say, okay, this is cool.
This is cool.
I'm fine with it. I also think that Sony could have done a better job of relaying the information. I think most of the issue is the way that it was
just buried in another article that didn't even mention it.
Right.
And I think that's
it feels
disgusting.
Sneaky. Yeah. It feels underhanded, and it feels like a lot when you consider the total. But that's what they give you. And they kind of have to break it down that way because unlike what Microsoft does, Sony does give you an option to get a discount for paying for the whole year. I would honestly love it if Microsoft did that. Xbox is like, you got to pay us monthly, and that's what it is, and that's all they give you. So when they come out, they can say it's going up $2 a month, right? Or $1 a month, and it doesn't sound as bad because it's only $1, right? Or it's only $2. But because Sony actually does give you the option to pay for the full year, and when you do that, you're getting it at a discounted price, it makes it sound worse. And it also does, in fact, belittle the value of what you're already getting because they're not adding any value to it. And when you word it by saying we're doing this so we can continue to give you great games and value, you're like, what? With Saints Row? Black Desert been free on Xbox for like 2 years. Like, what are you talking about?
Right.
So it definitely makes that I think it makes it sting a little bit more. I don't think people are overreacting. I think Sony messed up their messaging. That's what I think. I'm still not giving it to them because it's just not worth it for me. And look, we talked about it, right? Because we were all like, look, if Baldur's Gate doesn't make it to Xbox before Extra Life, we're just going to get it on PlayStation and we'll play it online and we'll do Baldur's Gate for Extra Life. But at $80, I'm not resubscribing at $80 so I can play Baldur's Gate Extra Life. I will wait. I will hedge my bets that it'll be on Xbox before the end of the year, and we could do it if we do Extra Life like we normally do for like New Year's,
something like that. Yeah.
And we can run it there. And with the way this game is, it might be the only game we have to play for that stream.
You ain't lying.
But I'm not gonna give it to him under that circumstance. It just feels it doesn't feel good. You know what I mean?
Right.
And the one thing gaming is supposed to be is something that feels
Supposed
good.
to be
It's
feel
supposed
good.
to be a break.
Yep.
Yeah. So
1000%.
I just think they did a bad job of netting that out.
I can get behind that.
Sin,
Terrible. Yo.
I need you to talk about One Piece live action for me. And here's why.
Go ahead.
You know I don't really care.
I know.
Right? Personally.
I know.
Not I don't care from a pop culture standpoint or from like this is a big deal standpoint. But I need you to talk about it because it's your favorite thing. I shouldn't say it's your favorite thing. It's definitely your favorite anime. Right?
Yes. Yes.
I need you to talk about it. Because I watched it.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know if it's good. I don't have anything to compare it to.
Gotcha.
That's your job.
I will say this: yes, I have watched all the episodes, and for trying to take One Piece and bring it into the live action world, we were scared from the beginning. But as more reports came out, they're building these big grand stages. Oda's heavily involved with all these little aspects. If he don't want, it's not going to be in there. Started reading things and hearing things like, okay, I'm feeling better about it.
People who aren't familiar.
He is the creator of One Piece. He is a national treasure over there. Like he doesn't sleep. Like, he doesn't do it. He just does One Piece. Like it's like we've been concerned with dude's health for many years now. Like when this is over, I don't want you to do anything else. Just take years off, brother, just to heal and such. Like, but I will say this: as far as trying to recreate One Piece and bring it to live action, I didn't think it could be done. I thought it would be too difficult. I'm not gonna lie; they kind of knocked it out the park as far as bringing it to live action. I thought the actors, they did a great job with bringing the characters to life, especially the main crew between Luffy, Zoro, Nami, Sanji, Usopp. I think my favorite live action interpretations was Luffy, Zoro, and Nami. I love all of them. I think they dialed back on Usopp's cartoonish silliness a little bit to make it work for live action, and they dialed back a little bit on Sanji's perviness. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's more so now just he flirts and gets rejected. You know what I'm saying? It's not like super crazy how he'll get in the anime, which I like that. I appreciated that. The action, I enjoyed it. They made Luffy feel good with what they can do with live action and CG and all that kind of stuff. He fights like Luffy. The CG, I wasn't too mad at. Maybe a couple parts when he's stretching. I thought Zoro did a great job. I thought Sanji did a great job with the action. Actually, all of them I thought did a great job. There are those one-for-one shots from the show, which was great to see. Then there's stuff that they took and did differently, like slight spoiler, but jokes. Don Krieg, that's not who he fights at the end of the whole restaurant arc. It's Arlong. Now, Don Krieg is like a one-off they throw away because Garp calls Mihawk to come get Luffy at the restaurant, and he's fighting Don Krieg and just whooping him at the time. It threw me off. Like, oh, okay, like this is all right. We're just throwing away Don Krieg. Cool. How are we going to fix this? Then how they maneuver it, I guess, to make better for a U.S. audience and such. I wasn't mad at it. I was like, okay, cool. I'm not gonna lie, they really did knock it out the park. From the music in the background, all the little Easter eggs we saw in just the first episode alone. Like, there's a lot of information. Like, there's stuff there that they make it kind of like main story plot issues, but that's not something we don't learn until like the end of Ena's Lobby. But they're giving it to us now. Like, I guess it's the way to kind of keep people in and keep the story, not have to wait so long for those certain payoffs. They did a really good job of bringing this one to life, not going to lie at all. And it makes me want to really, really look forward to a second season, because towards the end, you start to see the crew come together as more so that Straw Hat family, where in the beginning, everybody's kind of like on their own, and Luffy's just dragging them along with them. You know what I mean? You kind of see like like jokes, like that fun and silliness of them that they can have once they
Mhm.
get close. You start to see that when it gets later. Practically once Usopp joins, they can start to relax a little. You know what I'm saying? Have fun because Usopp is bringing that. Usopp and Luffy will start doing stuff to make Zoro and Sanji laugh and Nami and all that kind of stuff. Like I thought they really did a good job. Not gonna lie, bringing it to life. I mean, I know you don't have nothing to reference to, Gage, but they did a good job of taking what it was, taking that first arc and bringing it to live action, I think. Yeah. Don't say if you want to check it out, it's right there on Netflix. I say check it out for yourself. I like what they did with some stuff.
Is it the best live action anime adaptation?
Only thing that I haven't seen that I want to see that could rival it is Kenshin. Because I heard that's a really, really good one. I've heard, haven't seen it for myself.
Heard some great things about the sword fight scenes in Kenshin.
Yeah, I purposely haven't watched it because now that it's back on the air, I've always wanted to see it finish animated the way I came up on it. So I know the 3 movies actually give me that final arc that I want to see so badly, but I wanted to watch anime first before I go watch live action. So that's the only reason I haven't watched that yet. But outside of not knowing about that one, I think it's definitely the best live action adaptation of a.
Because I was going to ask, maybe the way the question should be, was it the best live action probably to say America has probably done in trying to do it? Because obviously, they've done in Japan the live action of a lot of the animes and things. I feel like it translated better when it did it that way. But over here, not so much.
No, I think this is. Like I think Oda's involvement in it, I think that's what helps. When you have the creator like, change that a little bit. I don't like that. Switch this. I like that. Keep going with that. Like when you can reach out, they had the access to reach out to Oda. You know what I mean? And he wants to be involved with it too. Get those feedbacks back and forth. I think that helps out a whole lot.
Makes a difference.
It makes a really big difference. Yeah, like with the Black Cat Pirates joke with Usopp and Surf Island. Like it was like they kind of did like this horror movie thing in the house where like some of the Straw Hats are locked in and him and his minions are going around like all creepy, like trying to get him. I honestly thought that was pretty cool. It wasn't like that in the show, you know what I mean? But it still kept the colors of One Piece with it. Like I thought it was kind of cool the way they switched it up and pulled it off. Just little things like that. They did it with Buggy. So they did it with him. They did
Buggy.
It with everybody knows Buggy.
Dog.
Everybody knows Buggy. Come on now, he's great. I saw this. Yeah, that was horrible, Zay.
That's what I was getting.
Horrible Death Note adaptation. Yes, I would recommend it. Yeah, like I said, they killed.
Yeah, I mean, look, I won't tell you. I mean, I didn't hate it. You know what I'm saying? Like I watched it. It's cool. I have issues with it. I just think sometimes it's not their fault. I just think a lot of times the translation from something that is animated and is it's one thing to have animation. It's another thing to have something that's as animated as what One Piece is because their abilities and powers are so
in the world
over the top. And it's not just that. It's the world, but also their personalities are so over the top. And so if you're not really careful about how you do that, some of the things that translate really well into animation just tend not to translate as well into live action. And there are moments of it for me personally where it feels more like I'm watching a stage play than I'm watching a TV show. And those parts of it kind of bothered me. But I think what made me decide to watch it was just to see whether or not watching this gave me the necessary bug to be like, all right, let me try, digging into the anime. It doesn't do that for me. But it's still not a thing. But I do think that there are people though who maybe already like anime or have an experience that like watching this could do that for them. I do think that that there are people who like this is going to be a good entryway for them to be able to get into, it. So it's cool. Jokes, how much of it did you watch all of it?
I'm up to episode 3 right now. I'm gonna knock probably an episode out tonight after Ahsoka. But right now I've enjoyed. It's just they're trying to take a lot to cram into these 8 episodes, but I
8
have to
hours.
say that
Yeah.
they have handled it pretty well in trying to at least make it make sense and make things fluid. Because to take a lot of those scenes, they've had to shrink and compact down versus like say 10 episodes of build up or put together for it. I think they've done
Sure.
a pretty good job at being able to minimize, because these hours they're like, for instance, but they're all almost an hour long. And I don't think they waste any of that time making sure things are put into place to explain, because there's definitely things that are being set up to pay off later as they're doing it, which I definitely appreciate in there for it.
Mhm.
Like Sin said, CG, that was my first concern, is just obviously Luffy being able to stretch. Buggy, for those that aren't familiar, like this dude is, I don't know how to explain.
Chop fruit.
He ate the chop fruit, so the
to
dude
separate his
can
body
literally like
parts.
separate his body parts. I was afraid of how that was going to actually come out, and it actually came out pretty good. It's a little bit of that horror, like you said, the horror vibe to it when they initially do it with him, but then it just becomes funny because that's kind of like how the character is. But they did it pretty good.
Yeah, the use of blood in it, like it was there when Zoro was cutting people, that was completely unexpected to see. You know, there's some language in it that was completely new.
There's
Like
some
okay,
language.
okay, Zoro's getting some things off. You know, people are getting some things off. That was you new thing to see. There's only 2 things that I wanted to see them do and adapt that I didn't get, that I was a little bit disappointed was. But I know you haven't caught up, jokes. I won't tell you what they were. It's not till you get to the end.
Arlong Park kind of thing. Like
It was,
I
it was
haven't.
one little thing with Arlong Park. It was just one little thing that I wanted to see them bring to life, just to remind the audience of something, and that something at the end I didn't get that I was hoping for since the beginning. Something small but important. So, yeah.
Yeah, I know you guys did a discussion, reaction to like the first episode and so forth. I know that's that's live on Patreon. So if you're a patron, make sure you go and check that out. If it's something that you're interested in, I think it's totally worth. If you already have Netflix, I don't know if I would tell you to get Netflix for this if you don't have it, but I think if you got it, take the time, watch the first couple episodes. If it does something for you, within the first couple episodes, keep watching. If not, you move on. But yeah, it's cool. And to be honest, I'm glad to see something that is such an important piece of the culture get this kind of an adaptation that, regardless of how I feel about it or what I think about it, that it is done. Like, I can tell it's done very well. You know what I'm saying? And so that I think is important, because I don't want to see people go like running off and just be like, look, they did it with One Piece, so we can do it with everything. Like, I don't want that.
This isn't like Marvel. This isn't like the Shonen. This is Shonen Jump, and we're doing those under there, and that's like the Marvel. This is just a
one off. Let this work. You know what? Let this work. Let them cook with this, and you know what? Take good notes, and just let's just wait it out. Because
well, they just need to just make sure that they give it the kind of time and care that this has been given. So, we'll see what really happens, because it's not like there's not still a writer strike happening, and there's not still an actor strike happening, and whatever, right? And how that's going to affect things. But
shout out to the child
again, my concern is that, like, I don't want to see other studios just be like, well, they did it, so we can do it, and we just whatever. And I don't want it to lose anything to know that, like, the creator is involved, and it still comes out like not great, which could still be a thing. So I want people to kind of take the real lessons from it and do it right if they're going to do it.
Absolutely. I was going to say shout out to the child actors in it. I thought they did a really good job of taking everybody's tragic
younger self,
and bringing it to life. I thought they all did a really good job. That was really pleasant.
That was pretty together. They're pretty good.
Yeah, they did good.
Let's just hope that we can get another season and keep things motion. Sin, I'm really happy for you. Obviously, with the One Piece and being your favorite anime, that this was actually presented very well. Lionsgate announced they're doing the live action Naruto and
It's how involved is Kishimoto?
They haven't said yet. So right now it literally has me scared to death.
Oh, it does. I'm right
And
now.
then
I'm around my
Lionsgate do
One
the
Piece
Dragon
side.
Ball. Then Lionsgate do the last Dragon Ball joint. Then they
No,
do
it
Dragon Ball
wasn't.
Evolution.
No, it wasn't Lionsgate. I forget who that was. And if I found out, I had to go back and look that up. If that was Lionsgate, I'd throw it away.
Hopefully, those studios will see the praise that One Piece is receiving, and like Gate said, no, all right, if we're gonna do this, this is a big property. We gotta handle it with the same amount of care that they did.
Same way,
care and respect. You got to.
Gundam's live action is coming, and they're talking with the creator and stuff. So like this gives me good feels of what they could potentially do with that. And hey, the Gundam looked good in Ready Player One. We at least got to see.
I don't think Gundam will be difficult. It's just got to be, it's got to be done right. That's not one of the more difficult ones to do. One Piece is
Gundam's not. I mean, I don't think that's anywhere. It's not superpowers. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's like if you can do Transformers, you could do Gundam.
Yeah. Pacific Rim,
you know what I mean?
Any one of those things.
Yeah.
It still scares me.
Gundam, I think. I'm not saying you shouldn't be scared because
anything can happen.
It could easily go wrong,
mm-hmm.
but it'll be worse if they get that wrong because it's easier to get that right. That's what my point is on that. It's easier to get right, so it'll be worse if they get that wrong. All right, look, we got to wrap the show up. We got stuff to do.
Yeah,
we got to play Starfield.
I got a weapon wheel to figure out.
We got to figure
this. I got to figure this weapon wheel out.
Going to my next battle strap.
I want y'all to know that this weekend, we will be at Baltimore Comic-Con. So if you see us, come say what's up. Come say hi. Come check us out. Just don't interrupt us while we're shooting because that's not cool. But if we not shooting,
by all means.
You know what I'm saying? Say what's up. Come through. Wave at us. Say hi. Looking forward to seeing a lot of people. There's a lot of people we haven't had a chance to see, like J. Robert Deans and Sam. I know they're both going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be cool to kind of catch up with some folks and see some people we haven't had a chance to catch up with. A lot still coming. We got StellarCon a month out. So that's coming. We got Saucy Fest at the end of the month. That's coming. And we got the Extra Life is coming. So look, if you're a gamer and you're interested in joining our team to help raise money for Children's Miracle Network hospitals this year, by all means, reach out, shoot us a DM. We'll give you the link so you can join the team, and you can start, taking donations for the team. I really would like for us to blow out what we've made in terms of money for charity in the past. So you'll see some stuff coming about that shortly. But again, the team is live. We do have some people that have already jumped in and joined, and so that's really great. We always have a good time. When we do it, we're always tired and slightly delirious.
For sure.
But it is always worth it. So we're gonna go ahead and get out of here. Before we do so, Sin, you have a job to do.
Yes, sir. So let's shout out our top tier patrons, starting with Anthony Cunningham, Marcus Houston, Susan Dortch, Tyrone Carson, Meticulous Skin, Alex Lee, and Ellis Mbe. Thank you very, very much. We truly, truly appreciate it.
That is absolutely the case. Once again, thank y'all so much for hanging out with us this evening. It means the world to us that you hang out here and you jump in the chat and you listen to our discussions and discuss along with us. That's why y'all the best. No, we're not playing. You playing FNAF on your stream for Extra Life, but I'm not playing that.
Not even a little bit.
You have a good night too. Now, I mean, for the right kind of money being donated, I'm sure we can get Sin to play Five Nights at Freddy's. I'm pretty sure.
Go ahead.
Hold on. Before we leave out of here, there were some wagers that were made for this wrestling stuff that happened last week, and somebody suffered some consequences.
Very much so.
Jokes.
Mm-hmm.
I know you suffered some consequences. Marcus also suffered some consequences.
Marcus did that to himself.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
I don't know what he was thinking.
So Marcus ended up having to do a one chip challenge.
So he didn't need to do it, but he chose to do it. He didn't want to watch for people from. He didn't want to watch the Austin Theory match. So
he was trying to sabotage the match.
He decided to just go ahead and do the one chip challenge. And me and Sam were looking like talk like, dude, you know you don't need to do this right now. But he ended up doing it.
The point is the content is there.
It's there.
Get the content to you.
Patreon, you're gonna get it first.
Okay. I had to like
you have to jump in real quick.
Hey,
you know
my man pulled up with the work gear and just laughed my
man. See my man pretend he wasn't suffering. It was the greatest lie that's ever been told. I mean, it wasn't that bad. You're crying right now. It's tears in your eyes. Shut up. Jokes. I heard you ate a pickle.
Yeah, so I had to eat a
boarhead sour pickle.
Yeah,
wasn't that bad?
Honestly, to me, it wasn't as sour as what I was honestly anticipating. It came with the warheads.
Saying, is it worth watching? Is it worth watching?
It was honestly a real letdown. His was a real letdown. It was.
Okay.
It was. Okay. Even with the warheads. I even ate
down to the warhead pickles.
Yeah. And I was this close to have to join him in doing mine with the enchilada soda, but luckily, somehow,
just won out.
Somehow,
But Sin, there's always next time. So
it is sitting in the fridge.
We're gonna have snack bites at Baltimore Comic Con, right?
Yep, it has Pop-Tarts. I got Pop-Tarts.
They don't need to know.
All right.
They don't need to know.
I'll bring some too, actually.
Y'all just look out for some content coming over the next week or two from Baltimore. Jokes, tell the people what I need them to know.
Remember, y'all, just because you have a well thought out plan.
No, when he said that, I just flashed back to wrestling this weekend, and Marcus came off the dome and he closed it out so perfectly, and we laughed.
Marcus has a jump. We was wrapping it up, and this dude just hit the jump, and we was like, what the hell did you make this up?
Bodied it, closing it out.
I like it.
I was like, I hate you, dude.
I like it. Tell people what I need them to know.
Remember, y'all, just because you have a well thought out plan doesn't make it a good idea.
Doesn't make it a good idea. With that, we are out. Toodles and lose.
Loading snacks.